Hey, today I'm going to show you 5 carbs, yes, I said carbs, to eat for weight loss over 50. Hi, Sophie here. If you haven't met me before, welcome to my kitchen. I am a board certified nutritionist. I am a weight management specialist, and I am a mindset coach, but I love food. And I also love busting food myths, one of which I'm just going to bust super quickly today, which is that carbs are the devil incarnate when it comes to health and really when it comes to weight loss, because as we all know, unless you've lived under a rock, the last few years have all been about low carb this, grain-free that. And I'm here to bust this myth because honestly, carbs are our body's preferred source of fuel. So why rip away what nature has provided for us as our body's preferred source of fuel? Now, there's obviously a carb and a carb. So what we're talking about is a healthy, complex carb as opposed to a refined carb. So to lump all carbs in the same bracket is absolutely ridiculous, because there are carbs, anything that's refined is going to spike your blood sugar and is going to lead to weight gain. But here I am talking about complex, healthy carbs. So I'm going to very quickly go over 5 of my favorite. And if you are looking to lose weight or reach and maintain your ideal weight, then I highly recommend that you include all 5 of these foods in your diet, on a sort of daily basis, or these complex carb groups on a daily basis. You'll be more satiated and you'll have a lot more energy, which is actually, isn't that the worst thing about some of the weight loss diets? It's like you either feel nauseated or you have no energy, or it just feels gross or unsustainable. Well, not so when you're allowing yourself to eat to satiety and eat these beautiful foods. By the way, if you're struggling on your health and weight loss journey, and then check out my free masterclass underneath this video, where I go over my entire philosophy to reaching and maintaining your ideal weight, through a lifestyle change. So that's free. Click the link underneath this video. All right, so let's get on with it. So carb number 1 is going to be a sweet potato. So sweet potatoes, I've also put squash in here, but really a sweet potato is my absolute favorite food because it is so high in nutrition. It is so full of minerals and vitamins, and it is a beautiful complex carb. Many studies have shown that a simple sweet potato can really play a part in long-term sustainable weight loss and maintaining your weight loss for many years to come, because that's really what it's all about for me. We don't want something that's just quick flash in the pan, and it's about health. So sweet potatoes. So how do you cook them? Well, obviously sweet potato fries aren't going to be your best friend, much as I love them. You want to go for, obviously a baked sweet potato. How delicious, just loaded with beautiful steamed broccoli and salsa. It's so versatile, a sweet potato. I love to steam them and I love to mash them. And I have to say, I'm quite partial to my sweet potato fries, which are totally oil-free, that I make in my air fryer. So sweet potatoes are carb number 1. Go and enjoy your sweet potatoes. All right, so carb number 2 is intact grains. Now, we've heard a lot about grain-free, as I said, grains are the devil incarnate, but the studies tell us otherwise. So the studies tell us actually that whole grains, and even better, intact grains, which I'm just going to tell you what they are in a second, really play a very important role and have played a significant role in long-term weight loss studies. Isn't that amazing? So really, truly including intact grains in your diet might actually promote and help your weight loss journey. Now, intact grains don't have to be gluten, so they can be gluten-free. Now, an intact grain is even better than a whole grain. I think whole grains can sometimes be a bit misleading. We go to the store and we see whole grain bread and whole grain pasta and whole grain cereals and whatnot. But very often there's a lot more sort of behind the label. And of course, those products, the breads and the cereals and everything else, even if they're whole grain, can be filled with a lot of other additives, added oils, added sugars, etc. So in the best case scenario, the healthiest grain you can eat is an intact grain, which is a grain that really is in its least processed form. So a really good example of this is an oat groat. So this is an oat, is an oat groat right here. So the oat, the beautiful oat grain, an oat groat is as close to the plant as you're going to get. Then the next stage of it that you may have seen in the store a lot is steel cut oats. Really, really great choice. And then there's a rolled oat, and then there's instant oats, and then there's oat flour. So the more a grain is chopped up and ground up and refined, and in the worst case, bleached and had all the goodness taken out of it, the further it gets away from its original form, its intact form, the less healthy it's going to be, but also the worse it's going to be for your weight loss journey. So go for intact grains. Now, these are called oat groats. I am obsessed with oat groats. So you can leave them to soak overnight. Then you can just cook them for about 10 minutes. I prefer them to steel cut oats even because they're more chewy. I love the chewy heartiness of them. Also, once you cook them, they have a neutral flavor. So you can just add them to salads. You can add them to soups. They're very, very versatile. Another example of an intact grain is farro. I love farro. So farro is from the wheat family, but it is the most intact form of wheat. Very often eaten in the Mediterranean. In Italy, again, when you cook it, it has this beautiful, chewy, nutty taste and chewy texture, which I just love. So farro, I'll make a grain bowl and use farro. I'll make a risotto and use farro. I'll make just any kind of little casserole or whatever. You can just put it in so many things. Super duper versatile. And other intact grains, I'll put examples of other intact grains, the full list of them underneath this video. All right, so that's carb number 2. Carb number 3 is fruits. Fruits, yes. The amount of people that go, oh my gosh, I'm on a weight loss diet, I can't eat fruit because of the sugar. Well, the science tells us otherwise. Now, let's just think about this for a moment. So a banana is 85% calorie free. 85% calorie free. An apple or a pear is 95% calorie free. That it's mostly water and fiber and tons of vitamins and minerals. So I don't advocate anybody, and the hundreds of women that I have helped reach and maintain their ideal weight, all of them enjoy tons and tons of fruit. And why take something out of your diet that is associated with longevity and health span in populations across the globe and has been for the last 200 years? Seriously, we need to really be able to enjoy our fruits. And the only caveat I'll make with fruit is it needs to be a whole fruit. So you don't want to eat a fruit juice. Fruit juice, obviously, is where all the fiber's taken out of it, and then suddenly your blood sugar is going to spike. But a whole fruit is full of all that beautiful fiber and water. And even studies, a whole nother topic here, but even studies with diabetics have found that it doesn't affect them. Their blood sugar isn't going to go up, and it's not going to harm them. I mean, I have many clients who are pre-diabetic and diabetic and have reversed their diabetes and pre-diabetes while enjoying a diet full of beautiful, whole, fresh fruits. Okay, so healthy carb number, we've done 1, we've done 2, we've done 3, we're on number 4 now. So number 4 is beans. So beans are a complex carb, and beans are so incredibly healthy. So beans, along with fruit, it's a toss-up between which, but both beans and fruit are head-to-head in the foods that promote the longest life, for healthy longevity. We look at those populations and we see that they all eat fruit and they all eat some kind of a bean. So eat your beans. Now, when we look at the beans, really any kind of bean is good. You're good to go. But I do prefer in terms of health, I like the darker beans, such as the black beans, because they are very rich in anthocyanins, which is the antioxidant, which is also going to lead, obviously, to keeping you nice and healthy and young looking with beautiful glowing skin. and boost your immune system too. So lots of beans. Beans are a healthy carb. Now, finally, legumes. Now, there is a slight difference between beans and legumes. Sometimes they're all kind of lumped in the same bracket. So beans can be legumes. Let me get this right. Beans can be legumes, but not all legumes are beans. Hopefully I got that right. And so legumes will be things like chickpeas, peas. It could be garden peas. Love my favorite English peas that I throw in just about everything because they're also very high in protein. And also obviously beans and legumes are very, very high in this beautiful, clean plant-based protein. Edamame beans, soybeans, peanuts are also legumes. So I encourage my clients to eat loads and loads of these foods, loads of these beautiful, beautiful legumes. And if you're eating peanuts, you can find peanuts that are unroasted and unsalted. Even one of my favorite form of peanuts is raw peanuts. I can actually find them in my local farmer's market. There's a store that has all these beautiful sprouted legumes actually, and sprouts, and the peanuts are so delicious because they're crunchy and they make for such a good snack. And the great thing about all of these really healthy, all of these 5 healthy carbs, is that they all keep you full. So that's it from me for today. Please fill your diet if you're on your beautiful health prevention and weight loss and staying at your sustainable weight loss journey, I should say. Please don't shy away from these foods. They're healthy. And as I said before, they're your body's preferred source of fuel. So check out some of my other videos. I've got loads, hundreds actually of other videos. So do check out some of my other videos that cover nutritional topics and things that might be really useful and helpful to you. And make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.